Local elections are coming up on March the 18th. We are voting, all of us here in Eindhoven, for the city council, for things that really matter locally here. So it is interesting to know what the different parties think about what is relevant. A large party in Eindhoven is GroenLinks-PvdA, not only locally here, also nationally represented. Eva de Bruijn, I'm happy to have the fractieleider there. So maybe this is an opportunity to ask you, what are the things that keep you awake, that should be done in this city?
Yeah, a lot actually. And GroenLinks-PvdA is the largest political party in Eindhoven. And we combine green and social politics to work for a green, affordable and also inclusive society. So what we actually strive for is that we would like to have green and healthy neighborhoods in which you can enjoy nature, go to a park nearby, breathe fresh air, but where also we take enough climate action that is good for the planet, but also for the people themselves. If we make houses more sustainable, you save more money, but it's also good for fighting climate change. And secondly, we also want to build enough affordable houses. I think it's really recognizable for a lot of newcomers also, a lot of internationals. And it's really difficult to find an affordable house. But also there are landlords that sometimes misuse actually, especially people who don't know exactly the system. So international students, for example. And we think that housing is not a business model, but it should be a human right for everyone. So that's where we strive for. And the last point is that we find it really important that we build a city where everyone feels welcome, everyone can participate, everyone feels belonging. And especially if you are new here in Eindhoven, it's important that you can find the right connections with people, build up connections in your neighborhoods. So we invest in cultures, in sport, but also in good education, especially also for international children. And we fight, of course, discrimination and racism. So, and in that way we build actually a city where everyone feels at home.
You mentioned these 3 points as the highlight of the program. Let's take housing, because that's on the list really.
Indeed,
as a hot topic. More or less I hear you say that it's a role of the municipality to orchestrate things there, to become in control. You're critical on the role of certain landlords. On the other hand, we also see students or parents of students who are buying a house and then in the end we're housing 5, 6 students. And with some of the national politics, we see that that is frustrated. So I can imagine that there are also voices in Eindhoven and in other places who say, well, isn't there also a role where you can let things happen without taking full control there? Is it GroenLinks-PvdA who says the municipality should be in full control?
Well, we actually want more control, because if we have more control on the ground, we also can decide how much rent you pay. And we can make sure that it's affordable, the house you find actually. And secondly, we also see a lot of bad landlords that really take advantage of people. So one of the things I'm really proud of is, together with international students, we set up the rental team. And this is a team that helps people to come up for their rental rights. So if they pay too much money, this team helps you to get this money back. And in the past years, they got like hundreds of thousands of euros back. And that's especially important for international citizens, but also students and other renters. That they pay a fair and affordable price for their houses they live in.
To me, that sounds like you're going after the situations that's really going bad. And also something where bringing people together, you can have a momentum against another power in economics. Can I also take your plans as far as on the budget of the municipality? There should be a major part for building new houses, investments from public money. Is that also a role for the municipality in Eindhoven?
Well, it's really important to invest in more housing, more affordable housing. So as a municipality, we invest in this issue, but we work together with the big companies here in Eindhoven and also the national government. And together we have a budget of money to also accelerate the building of houses, because it's really important. So
housing was a big thing. Living in a nice city means also living in a green city. And I know from cities where on paper it is very green, which does not preclude that cities cut very beautiful old trees and just a tree is a tree, and what comes back is something that still has a bright future to grow. It's not really making the city green. Can you give some examples of where Eindhoven is really becoming greener?
Yeah. Well, luckily, it's not only paper, because also if you cycle or walk through the city, you see actually that the streets and the city center become greener and greener. So we made the city center more green. The Wilhelminaplein nearby the city center is now in development. We opened the Lichtbos. It's a huge woods or forest for the city.
It's parkland, but close to a more or less natural environment.
Indeed,
Wielerwald, Philips environment.
And when I walked there, I saw like lots of different people. So I saw an expat family, I saw an elderly couple, and everyone was walking through that Lichtbos, through that forest with a big smile, because they were enjoying the nature, enjoying the good weather. So it's a really nice place to enjoy your relaxation, enjoy nature. So not only we invest in these parks, but also on a smaller level by making streets more green, adding more nature to the streets people live in.
Yeah. And making it an inclusive city for everyone includes this, I guess.
Indeed,
having the parks, but there may be more, because you made it a separate point on your agenda.
Yeah, indeed. Well, it's of course a really broad topic. But what we find important is that we also involve the opinions and experience of internationals. So what we did is we organized an event about how to make the public space more inclusive. It was an event for international citizens so that they could bring good examples from home to make our public space more inclusive. It's also, for example, about education. There are some really important key figures in the international community that are pleading for mother tongue education, and if we didn't have heard their voices, maybe the municipality didn't come up with that idea that it's important, so that children also not only learn Dutch but also can develop themselves in their own mother tongue, which improves the language skill, but also their identity. It has lots of development benefits. And there's an example that, well, maybe as Dutch city councillors, we didn't come up with it ourselves, but because there are internationals knocking on doors, involving or engaging in the politics, it's now also on our list.
You mentioned 3 points: these inclusive cities, the housing, the green part. You did not mention that high on the agenda is keep this area, this region, economically flourishing. And there are voices who say that is urgently important, particularly with all the geopolitical tension. Yeah,
well, it's actually the main issue in the city. The city is growing really fast because of these economic circumstances. Yeah. And what we find really important is that this growth, we think it's good to invest in the economy of the future, because the economy of the future is more sustainable. But we only can let this economy grow if that happens in a fair, in a sustainable, and in a social way. So that has to be in balance with the city and with the pace of the city. Yeah. So we have to build enough houses, but also to make sure that there are enough libraries, doctors, schools, and so on. And that we also, the fossil industry should really go down because there's not place for everything. So we are really striving for building this economy of the future to make sure that the economy is more sustainable. But that only can happen if we make this fossil industry go down, invest in houses, but also invest in all this societal infrastructure, which is really important because that's where the city thrives on.
And I can imagine that in terms of the companies that you like more or that you like less, that's a clear choice. The one who are greener, more sustainable,
Indeed,
are then the one that you would be more happy about than other companies. On the other hand, there are also, let's say, markets, businesses, which are very important for this region. And in those markets, quite often it is winner takes all. You either are a key player in the world, or you're losing out. We see big tech can be large because they are big and they are everywhere. And that may mean that sometimes when large companies want to grow rapidly, it's either following or you will just lose that, which must be a challenge then.
And that's why it's really important that you don't focus on one specific company, but that there's a diverse a range of companies actually. But what we find, like number one, is that all these companies should be green, sustainable and social, because otherwise we think there's no place for them in this city.
Eva de Bruijn, with the view, and more than a view, because you're the fractie leader of GroenLinks-PvdA here in Eindhoven. And I bet you're looking forward to March the 18th.
Indeed, yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.